Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another Minnesota Twins discussion video. I know it's been a long time, but let's get into it. I'm back home as well, so that's the different scenery behind me. So let's talk about the Minnesota Twins. Of course, we're going to do that, but we're going to be talking about an updated list to who I think is going to be starting for the Minnesota Twins in, 9 days? That's right, it is March 19th. And what do they start on the 28th? I believe that Thursday, because the show comes out on that Tuesday. So I think the 28th is when they start, which would be 9 days. So here we go. I will give you my starting lineup. We already know that Berríos is the ace, and that's who I would have picked. It's going to be him and Gibson that are really going to need to step up this season. We've talked about that before in previous videos, how Gibson, this is one of his last years. I don't know if this is his last year, if he has one more on his contract. I really can't remember. I thought this was his last season before he gets put on the free agency. And this could be a big year for him. We took him in 2009, really worked with him, got him up to the majors. He's done decently, but he's never had run support, right? And that's the biggest problem with what I've seen in the past, and you guys have said it too, with the Twins in the past, is they've never had run support. This is a different team, though. We really think with what the Twins have gathered, this could be the year where we get run support and Gibson could actually, shine. And then obviously Berríos, he is, the star who could honestly be a Cy Young winner this year. I really think Gibson could have a chance too. He's a long shot, but Berríos, I honestly think could be, one of the top 5 or 6 guys in the AL to win the Cy Young. He is great. Again, run support is going to help this year. He's a nasty pitcher, and I don't want to face him. So those 2 guys are really going to shine. I see them being 1, 2. Obviously, 3 would probably be Odorizzi right now. 4 is Pineda. 5 is Perez. Perez he's done well. I'm not going to give him, the amount of praise I think maybe other people are, or, what I think he could have. But, right now, I think Pineda and Perez are a solid 4 and 5. The game was canceled today against I think the O's today. So he was supposed to start, Perez. So he did not get to start. But, the Twins are going to rock with Berríos, Gibson, and then Odorizzi. Honestly, they have, 5 days off in the first 15 days of the first 15 games or something like that. I've seen the Twinkie Town. I'm sure you guys know who that is if you follow the Twins online, that they have talked about going with a 3-starter rotation. I might make another video about that tomorrow, but those 3 guys, 4 and 5, obviously are my starters. Now, let's talk about who's actually going to start on the field, and let's go back to yesterday's spring training game. Honestly, this spring training game pretty much sums it up for me. I will make a couple of changes, but the spring training game that they played yesterday versus Boston, I honestly think that's going to be pretty close to the starters for opening day. So Kepler starting out in right field. I don't know how I really feel about Kepler starting being the leadoff hitter, and that's because we have Buxton, right? Buxton has improved so much, and so has Kepler. Don't get me wrong here. Kepler has been phenomenal in spring training as well, but Buxton has really stepped up, and he's still got, 99 speed in the show. He's still super, super quick. I don't see why we're batting him 8th. Or 9th, I guess. I guess he'd be 9th here. I get he's one of those guys who can lead off or, turn the lineup around or whatever, but it just doesn't make sense why we wouldn't start him at the leadoff position. He's so fast, and maybe if we want to put him at the 2, that'd be better, but, it just doesn't make sense why we're batting him 8 or 9. That's what my point is. So at Kepler leading things off, it looks like he's going to be leading things off for the most part, which I'm fine with, but I want Buxton second then. I do think that Kepler is going to start in right field. He'll probably lead things off. 2, I really do like Polanco at the 2. If we're not going to put Buxton at the 1 or the 2, I do like Polanco as the 2 because he is a switch hitter. He will be playing shortstop. He is our only shortstop, basically. So, we do have Andrianza. So, if we want to play him, or he's not going to start opening day, but if we want to play him, he's definitely an option. I still think we could get something for him if we wanted to trade him or send him down with all this, the talent that we still have around, well, basically everywhere. So I do think it's still an option, but he's not going to be starting. Polanco, he's a solid 2 because he's a switch hitter and he's our shortstop. So Kepler, Polanco, that's pretty much solid. That's who they've been running in the 1-2 most of preseason. Now, it's obviously going to be Cruz, the DH. He's going to be 3rd. I could see him going down to 4th, and Rosario flipping, just depending on the pitcher. If they're going right-handed, left-handed, depending on, who's starting, because then you'd have a lefty, righty, in Polanco being a switch hitter, and then you'd go lefty again if it was, a righty pitcher. I guess then it would be 1, 2, 3 lefty. That would make sense. But I do like Cruz in the 3 spot against a righty, or a lefty, as well. Cruz is going to be the DH. We know this. He might, like I said, play 1 game in right field every blue moon. Once a season, maybe. I don't know. But he's going to be our DH. I like him in the 3 spot. And that also carries over to the 4, being Rosario. This is I like it. I like it a lot. Rosario should have been an all-star last year. I think he was our 2 hitter last year, right? Because Maurer was the 1, he was the 2, or he could play the 3. I mean, you can put Rosario anywhere in the lineup and he will do fantastic. He's going to play left field. That's a given. So the first 4 spots are pretty much a given, and I really like where the team is at that point in the lineup. Next, in spring training, in that game yesterday, they had Gonzalez. I don't like Gonzalez at the 4. I really don't. I would much rather see Cron at the 4, or the 5. I would rather see Cron at the 5, especially behind Rosario, keeping that lefty-righty every other. I know, like I just said, you can mix things up with depending on who's pitching, but in particular, I would like Cron at first base in the 5 spot, starting opening day. He's a tank. I mean, you've got so many options at first base. He's probably the guy we're going to start because we went out and traded for him or picked him up, I should say, early in the off season. So it would make sense to go ahead and put that guy that we went out and got, for specifically first base to replace Joe Mauer. It would make sense to put him in the 5 spot, especially with the amount of power he has. Next, I do like Gonzalez in the 6th spot, and he will be playing third base because Sano is hurt. Honestly, even if Sano was healthy, I don't know if I'd play him. I might put him at first and take away Cron, but that's not even an option since he is obviously hurt. So I do like Gonzalez at 3rd. I think he is pretty much the only third baseman that we could have, unless you wanted to put Astudillo there, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Again, going out and picking up Gonzalez, we're going to play him, and he has been at 3rd for spring training. I think he bats in the 6th spot. Next is Jonathan Scope. I like him in the 7th spot. I think he's a good 7th spot hitter. Honestly, he's a power hitter, but he can do a lot. I could see him going up to the 2, but right now I do like him at the 7th spot, playing second base. Again, pretty much our only second baseman that we really have pushed. We could, take Torres. We could take, well, I guess that's about it. Ethier, maybe too, Andrianza. But we went out and got Scope. We're going to play him. He's going to play second. And then in the 8th spot, honestly here, I'm going to put Buxton just because I don't know where else to put him. I don't want to put him in the 9 spot. I don't know what the Twins are doing with Buxton. I think he could play in the 5 spot. I think he could play in the 2 spot. I think he could play in the 9 spot. It doesn't matter. He's going to be our starting center fielder. I like Cave. I like Jake Cave a lot, honestly, but I just don't think he would take Buxton's position, even how well he did last year. Buxton, he came back. He's improved. He's done so well in spring training. We're going to play him. I'm going to put him in the 8th spot, particularly because number 9 hitter is going to be Jason Castro, and I don't want him to play. I don't want him to play. That's the point. But he's going to start, and that is because he's our guy. The guy that the Twins want to go with so badly. We paid so much for him. He's going to start. Unfortunately, I know I just made that video the other day about wanting to trade him, and I still do, but we're going to start him. I would much rather see Astudillo starting at catcher or even Garver, either one of the two. They're both phenomenal catchers, but we're not going to do it. So, once again, we're going to go with Castro, and I want him in the 9 spot because he can't hit very well. I know that's kind of an iffy thing. Why would you want Buxton in front of him if, you know, he can't hit very well? But he can't hit very well, so I don't want him having as many at-bats. And it does put you in a situation where it's like, why are you having Buxton in 8, though? Okay, move him to the leadoff hitter. I don't know. I do think, though, it will be Kepler, Polanco, Cruz, Rosario, Cron, Gonzalez, Scope, Buxton, Castro. Those guys are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then Kepler in right, Polanco in short, DH, Cruz, Rosario in left, Gonzalez at third, Cron at first, Scope at second, Castro catching. Obviously, center fielder will be Buxton. But that is just my take on it. Again, you know, I don't want Castro to start, and I really want to put that out there because I don't want him to start, but I think he's just going to do it because of how much we've invested in him and how many chances we've given him. I don't know how many more we're going to give him, but that's just my take on it. Let me know what you guys think the starting lineup will be. I really do think that the game against Boston yesterday was pretty much, you know, that's what we're going with for the season. And that's really not a bad lineup. I think once, you know, you get into the first week, tweak a couple things, you're going to be looking at a solid Twins team who's going to compete for something this year. So that's my take on it. That's what I think the starting lineup will be in 9 days. But again, that's just my opinion. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. So let me know what you guys think the starting lineup will be in all the positions and everything. So that's all I got for you today. Make sure to like, subscribe, come back tomorrow for another Twins video. Hopefully we'll have one up every day until the start of the season. That's all I got. We'll see you next time. Peace out.